There's been a lot of reports telling us what's gonna main event Bad Blood. Either CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, the Hell in a Cell match, or the first and last time Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns team up to go up against the Bloodline. That's two humongous matches. Honestly, they're bigger than the SummerSlam main event we had this past year. Both of them. And there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of reports, a lot of politicking between the wrestlers involved in the match, deciding what's gonna main event Bad Blood. Because, it's a pretty big show. It's in Atlanta, after all. That's where Cody Rhodes was born, I'm pretty sure he was conceived in Atlanta. I don't know about that. That's kind of nasty to think about. It means a lot to Cody Rhodes, and I guess Roman Reigns played football there. But that doesn't really matter. And CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, they've been beefing over a bracelet for almost a year now. So that's pretty significant, and blowing that off in a major way is pretty significant. So now that I have the backstory for the two major matches and why they're important, what should main event? Now, some may say, well, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns are the biggest names in professional wrestling right now, so they should main event. It's like if Macho Man and Hulk Hogan teamed up. It's big. They main evented the first ever SummerSlam. That's how big their star power was. I agree with you. It's a good argument. But then the other argument is it's CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. They have been feuding for almost a year now. It has been the feud of the year. It has been the longest feud WWE has had for ever. Continued feud. I'm not cutting Roman and Cody. It's been a long feud. And it's been the top feud of the flagship show, Monday Night Raw. First of all, it's a good problem to have because, just a couple years ago, Stomping Grounds, there was a lot of discussion. What should main event? And honestly, you know why there was discussion on what should main event? There was not a single match on that card that looked good at all. I don't give a fuck if you think Kofi Kingston's a good wrestler. Dolph Ziggler in 2019 should not be main eventing a fucking pay-per-view. And neither should Baron Corbin in 2019. Ever. Neither Baron Corbin should not be main eventing a pay-per-view in that year. So yeah, it's a good problem to have. But let's get deep down into what I think is gonna main event. I think it's gonna be Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes main eventing because they're the bigger names. They're the biggest names. It's them tag teaming. I want Punk to main event, but I think it's gonna be Roman and Cody. There is a slight chance Punk does main event. It relies on one small thing. If Punk runs the blade, if that man gets the blade and cuts his forehead wide open and starts gushing blood and has the crimson mask of them all, that's the only way he's able to main event Bad Blood, because unless you go balls to the wall in the Hell in a Cell match, you're not gonna main event over Roman and Cody. You know why? Because you don't put that in the middle of the show. You don't put that in the beginning of the card, because then the card peaks there with Punk running the blade and him gushing blood everywhere, finally blowing off this blood feud. You're not gonna cap it off and just have Punk gushing and ushering blood, and that's just the start of the show or the middle of the show. No, that has to be the peak and that has to be the end. So if Punk is running the blade, and there are reports that he needs the main event. Fuck the Roman and Cody shit. They can do whatever shit they're doing, ship them, if they're gonna have sex, good for them. But I don't give a fuck. At the pay-per-view called Bad Blood, in the blood feud, Punk should absolutely main event. I get it. It's Rhodes and Roman teaming up for the first time ever and probably never again. But sometimes, the bigger stars just gotta wrestle first. Gotta wrestle in the middle of the show. Because Punk and McIntyre is blowing off their feud, we're gonna see one of the most iconic photos in wrestling history. Don't get in the way of professional wrestling. This happened in WrestleMania 13 when Stone Cold did a main event. Let Punk main event. It's easy as that. I did a lot of yapping, and honestly, I don't remember half of the things I just said. But let Punk and McIntyre main event, because they have earned it. They're gonna bleed. There's gonna be a lot of blood in the blood feud. The pay-per-view called Bad Blood. So yeah, I can't wait. Punk should main event. This is my vote. I'm registered to vote for Punk. I vote for you, Punk. Vote for you, Punk. I vote for you, Punk. I vote for you.